What if you sailed toward a destination nobody could prove actually existed? What if returning home was never guaranteed from the beginning either? And what if failure meant vanishing forever into unknown waters completely? In the early 16th century, the world remained largely unexplored still. Maps contained mysteries, blank spaces, and terrifying unanswered questions everywhere. Beyond familiar routes lay oceans few people dared challenge directly. Some believed dangerous monsters lurked within distant seas beyond sight. Others feared endless waters swallowing ships without leaving traces behind. Uncertainty frightened people more than any known danger could ever. Yet one man became determined to confront that uncertainty personally. His name was Ferdinand Magellan, an experienced Portuguese navigator already. He envisioned a voyage unlike anything attempted before in history. Magellan believed western routes could reach valuable spice-producing islands eventually. Such a discovery promised wealth, influence, and historical significance simultaneously. But extraordinary visions often encounter resistance before becoming reality first. Portugal rejected his proposal despite years of loyal service previously. The decision humiliated him and shattered expectations he carried carefully. Many people would have abandoned their ambitions after such rejection. Magellan instead transformed disappointment into determination stronger than before. He sought support elsewhere, even among Portugal's political rivals directly. Spain recognized possibilities hidden within his daring proposal immediately. 5 ships received orders preparing for one of history's greatest voyages. Hundreds of men gathered without knowing what awaited them ahead. The horizon beckoned, and there was no turning back now. In September 1519, the expedition finally departed from Spain courageously together. 5 ships carried hopes, fears, supplies, and uncertain destinies forward. No one aboard could fully imagine the challenges awaiting ahead. Life at sea demanded endurance, discipline, and constant vigilance daily. Every sailor understood the ocean showed mercy to nobody consistently. Survival depended upon teamwork, preparation, and luck working together perfectly. Then storms arrived, reminding everyone how small humans truly were. Massive waves battered ships while winds tore relentlessly at sails. The ocean transformed into a battlefield impossible controlling completely ever. Crew members fought desperately to prevent catastrophe amid raging chaos. Water flooded decks as timbers groaned beneath unbearable pressure repeatedly. Each passing hour felt like a test of human limits. Through it all, Magellan projected confidence despite immense uncertainty internally. Leaders often hide fear because others depend upon their strength. Yet even he could not know whether success remained possible. The fleet pressed onward into waters becoming increasingly unfamiliar gradually. Weeks passed without answers to the expedition's most important question. Did a western route to Asia truly exist at all? Endless horizons offered no clues, only more uncertainty and doubt. Some sailors began questioning the mission and its leadership openly. Skepticism spread quietly through conversations below deck every night. The farther they traveled, the harder turning back became practically. Commitment deepened because retreat offered no guarantee of safety either. Ahead waited discovery, disaster, or perhaps both simultaneously together. As winter approached, the fleet stopped along Patagonia's unforgiving southern coast. Temperatures dropped while morale weakened beneath growing uncertainty and hardship. Months passed without discovering the passage Magellan promised his crew. Freezing winds punished sailors already exhausted from endless struggles at sea. Supplies diminished while frustration increased among officers and crew alike. Doubt spread faster than confidence throughout the fleet during winter. Then discontent evolved into something far more dangerous than complaints. Several captains secretly decided Magellan had lost his judgment completely. They believed continuing south would only guarantee everyone's destruction eventually. One night, mutiny erupted within the expedition unexpectedly and violently. Officers challenged Magellan's authority, threatening the mission's very existence. The greatest danger no longer came from nature but people. Magellan responded with decisive action despite overwhelming risks surrounding him. Hesitation would encourage rebellion and destroy remaining discipline immediately altogether. Loyalty and force became necessary tools for survival during crisis. The mutiny was crushed, but victory came with a cost. Trust within the fleet never fully recovered after those events. Fear replaced confidence among many who continued the voyage reluctantly. Yet Magellan remained committed to finding the elusive Western Passage ahead. Failure would validate every criticism and sacrifice already endured previously. Turning back now seemed almost impossible after so much hardship. The fleet sailed onward carrying scars visible and invisible alike. Every man aboard sensed history approaching through the southern mist. Soon they would discover whether Magellan's dream was reality indeed. After months of uncertainty, something extraordinary finally appeared before them. A narrow waterway cut through the southern edge of the continent. It looked like the answer Magellan had pursued relentlessly for years. Hope returned aboard ships that had nearly surrendered to despair. Every mile explored increased confidence that the passage was genuine. The impossible dream suddenly seemed achievable for the first time. Navigating the channel remained dangerous despite growing excitement among sailors. Strong currents and hidden hazards threatened progress constantly within waters. Yet the fleet continued forward with renewed determination and purpose. Celebrations spread when the passage finally opened toward another ocean. Months of suffering appeared justified by this remarkable discovery alone. History would eventually remember this route as the Strait of Magellan. The expedition had achieved something many believed impossible previously entirely. A gateway connected oceans once separated by mystery and speculation. Magellan's vision seemed brilliantly correct at last beyond doubt. The ships entered a vast ocean stretching endlessly beyond imagination. Calm waters contrasted sharply with previous storms and hardships experienced. Magellan named it the Pacific because conditions appeared peaceful initially, but appearances often conceal dangers greater than visible threats ever. The Pacific was far larger than anyone aboard understood yet. Distances impossible imagining waited ahead across empty horizons relentlessly. The expedition celebrated victory without realizing a greater challenge approached. Their hardest test was not behind them but still ahead, and the ocean would soon reveal its true nature brutally. The Pacific appeared calm, but its size concealed unimaginable hardship ahead. Day after day, ships crossed endless waters without seeing land anywhere. The horizon never changed, only repeating itself endlessly before them. Weeks became months as uncertainty consumed morale and confidence gradually. Food supplies dwindled faster than anyone expected during the crossing. Every meal became smaller while hunger grew stronger each passing day. Eventually, survival demanded choices unimaginable under normal circumstances for anyone. Sailors ate whatever remained, regardless of quality or condition available. Even scraps once discarded now seemed precious beyond measure entirely. Starvation transformed strong men into fragile shadows of themselves slowly. Weakness spread throughout the fleet with frightening consistency every day. Hope itself became increasingly difficult maintaining amid relentless suffering everywhere. Disease arrived alongside hunger, creating another enemy impossible escaping completely. Scurvy attacked bodies deprived of proper nutrition for months continuously. Gums deteriorated while strength vanished from exhausted sailors rapidly altogether. Death visited the ships repeatedly, claiming victims without mercy regularly. Each morning brought fear that another companion would never awaken. The ocean received countless bodies during those terrible months silently. Yet Magellan continued believing land existed somewhere beyond the horizon. His confidence inspired some while frustrating others increasingly over time. Faith in the mission became all many sailors possessed anymore. Then, after unimaginable endurance, signs of salvation finally appeared ahead. A distant coastline emerged where only emptiness existed before recently. The nightmare crossing was ending, but new challenges awaited immediately. Land at last appeared, ending one of history's harshest ocean crossings. Relief spread throughout the expedition as survival finally seemed possible. Fresh food and water restored strength to weakened sailors gradually. After months of suffering, solid ground felt almost miraculous beneath feet. Spirits improved while optimism returned aboard the remaining ships slowly. The expedition had reached islands now known as the Philippines. Local communities welcomed opportunities for communication, trade, and cooperation initially. Diplomacy opened doors that force alone could never achieve successfully. Relationships developed between explorers and influential regional leaders quickly. Magellan's mission appeared closer than ever to complete success now. He had crossed oceans and survived challenges beyond imagination already. Confidence grew from achievements earned through extraordinary persistence and sacrifice. Yet success sometimes creates dangers as effectively as failure itself. Magellan became involved in disputes between local political rivals unexpectedly. The conflict offered little connection to his original mission directly. Nevertheless, he chose supporting allies against opposing leaders militarily. The decision carried risks many underestimated during those tense days. Experience at sea could not guarantee victory on unfamiliar shores. Warriors gathered while tensions escalated toward armed confrontation rapidly everywhere. What began as diplomacy was transforming into something far more dangerous. The expedition suddenly stood near a conflict never originally intended. Magellan prepared for battle, believing success remained entirely achievable still. He had overcome countless obstacles and expected another victory ahead. But history was preparing a devastating and unexpected turn soon. Morning arrived over Mactan, carrying consequences nobody could fully anticipate beforehand. Magellan believed superior weapons would secure a quick victory easily. Confidence sometimes obscures dangers hidden within unfamiliar circumstances unexpectedly. He led his men toward shore through shallow waters carefully. Local defenders prepared fiercely to protect their homes and independence. Neither side intended surrendering during the confrontation that followed. Battle erupted with speed, confusion, and violence spreading immediately everywhere. Numbers favored the defenders who understood the terrain completely already. The expedition's advantages diminished rapidly under relentless resistance from opponents. Magellan found himself exposed as the situation deteriorated unexpectedly around him. The commander who crossed oceans suddenly fought for survival personally. Every decision now carried consequences measured in lives and futures. Then came the moment that transformed history forever and irrevocably. Ferdinand Magellan fell during the Battle of Mactan that day. The architect of the voyage would travel no farther himself. Shock swept through survivors struggling to comprehend what had happened. Their leader, guide, and symbol of purpose was suddenly gone. Grief mixed with fear as uncertainty returned stronger than ever. The mission remained unfinished, despite achievements already beyond imagination previously. Many wondered whether continuing made sense after such devastating loss. The man who envisioned the journey would never see it completed. He died thousands of kilometers from the homeland he left behind. The irony was profound, painful, and almost impossible to ignore. Magellan came so close to immortality, yet missed its moment. Magellan's death created a void impossible filling completely within the expedition. Without their leader, uncertainty returned stronger than ever before immediately. Many questioned whether the voyage should continue at all anymore. The safest choice seemed abandoning ambitions and seeking survival instead. Yet returning backward offered challenges nearly as dangerous as continuing. Every option carried risks capable of destroying the remaining crew. Leadership changed hands as survivors struggled adapting to new realities. The expedition pressed onward despite grief, exhaustion, and mounting difficulties. Momentum became the only force keeping the mission alive now. Unfamiliar waters demanded constant attention from sailors already overwhelmed mentally. Mistakes could prove fatal far from friendly ports or assistance. Survival remained uncertain every single day of the journey onward. Eventually, they reached the Spice Islands, destination sought from beginning originally. The reward justified years of risk, suffering, and sacrifice endured. Valuable spices represented fortunes waiting beyond known horizons previously unexplored. Ships loaded precious cargo that could transform the expedition's legacy. Yet wealth alone could not guarantee reaching home successfully afterward. The most difficult part still remained ahead for survivors. Disease, storms, and exhaustion continued reducing their numbers steadily everywhere. Crew shortages forced remaining sailors into relentless labor every day. The voyage consumed people almost as quickly as it gained discoveries. Eventually, only one ship remained capable of completing the mission. That vessel was Victoria, battered but still moving forward relentlessly. And its final voyage would change history forever beyond question. Victoria sailed onward carrying survivors, spices, and humanity's unfinished dream forward. The ocean demanded one final test before granting passage home safely. Every mile earned required endurance beyond what most people imagine. Storms battered the ship while hunger continued haunting exhausted sailors relentlessly. The crew shrank further as hardships claimed additional lives gradually. Yet somehow the remaining men refused surrender despite impossible circumstances. Then they noticed something strange upon comparing dates and records. A day seemed missing from their calculations unexpectedly and mysteriously. Without realizing it, they had proven Earth far larger than assumed. In September 1522, Victoria finally returned to Spain triumphantly at last. Only 18 survivors remained from the hundreds who originally departed. Their appearance reflected suffering few humans could fully comprehend before. They returned not merely with spices, but with world-changing knowledge itself. Humanity now possessed undeniable evidence that global circumnavigation was possible. The planet suddenly felt both larger and smaller simultaneously somehow. Here lies the greatest irony within Magellan's extraordinary story, perhaps. The voyage succeeded, but its creator never witnessed the achievement personally. Others crossed the finish line he spent years pursuing courageously. History remembers Magellan, though another man technically completed the journey. Juan Sebastián Elcano guided Victoria through the final stages successfully. Yet the vision, ambition, and original determination belonged to Magellan. Sometimes legends emerge not from endings, but from beginnings instead. Sometimes the dreamer matters as much as those finishing dreams. And that realization transforms how we understand greatness entirely today. By ordinary measures, Magellan failed to complete his own journey personally. He never returned home and never saw ultimate success achieved. His life ended far from everything familiar and beloved behind. Yet history rarely measures greatness through survival alone or comfort. Some achievements transcend the lives of those creating them entirely. Magellan's dream survived even after the dreamer himself disappeared. The voyage permanently changed humanity's understanding of the world forever. Oceans became connected within a larger picture of global reality. Distances once unimaginable suddenly became measurable and navigable eventually. Every explorer afterward benefited from lessons earned through immense sacrifice. Curiosity continued pushing humanity beyond known boundaries across generations repeatedly. The spirit behind exploration proved stronger than fear itself ultimately. Every horizon invites questions about what lies beyond it still. Those questions drive discoveries that reshape civilizations and human understanding. Magellan simply followed curiosity farther than most dared attempt previously. The ocean tested courage, endurance, leadership, and belief relentlessly throughout. Many perished, many suffered, and many never saw home again. Yet their sacrifices expanded the limits of human possibility dramatically. History remembers voyages because they reveal something about ourselves deeply. Humans are driven toward mysteries despite risks and uncertainty constantly. We seek answers hidden beyond mountains, oceans, and even stars. Magellan's journey embodies that restless desire to know more completely. The unknown remains frightening, but it also contains extraordinary opportunities. And every great discovery begins by sailing beyond familiar horizons.